Hello everyone. Good morning. How was your Monday? We've been having a little resurgence of winter, Texas winter, which is 50s. Although I think it's down to the 40s this morning. So how was your Monday? What did you do? I worked really hard. I went to the mall and I got my hair did. See? I had to update my natural blonde. Not so much. Anyway, so went to the mall. Usually it takes about 2.5 hours to get my hair did. And maybe more like 2 hours, something like that. But the stylist asked me if how long I wanted my hair to grow to. And I said I wanted it to go down to her ankles ultimately. Now, no matter how tall you are, that's pretty low. So I thought that was entertaining. Really, I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to figure out how to re-upload these videos, because since I've uploaded a video, a lot of things have changed on the YouTube app as far as how to upload videos. And there's so many accounts you can kind of connect through one app, and I'd like to figure out what are the best places to post videos. The original cardio vlogs run that I did, I was posting on the account that was connected to an email called iApple the World. Beg your pardon. And originally, that was not what I was connected to. So I think I've uploaded the video I shot yesterday, the two-parter. I uploaded it to 2 different accounts, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. If I'm decide to do videos on this topic, I'll go here, and this topic I'll go here. I know you can do tons of topics on one channel, but I prefer to, for now, in my mind, sort of focus attention on certain things. This is sort of the channel that I'm putting this on, I would say, is sort of more of a health and fitness type thing, because this really is me just, walking and talking, but it's still cardio, and hopefully whoever's watching this is not sitting in front of their computer, but taking a walk and listening to it, which is what I do with a lot of things. I listen to a number of live streams. Well, there's really one specifically I'm listening to right now from a thing called 999 Gaming. Oh, you fell over. Hang on, let's see if you're still recording. Still recording. But you fell over. Don't move, you're right there. No. They're doing a number of videos about The Walking Dead right now, which, if you didn't know, The Walking Dead just wrapped up its 9th season. And so I'm trying to make sure you're standing up straight. Yesterday it was perfect, but now it's kind of fighting me on standing up straight. That's okay. So they're doing a number of videos on The Walking Dead. Season 9, which just wrapped up on Sunday. And I have a lot of respect for the guy who runs the channel. He's got some great support behind him, but I don't agree with him on everything, and that's okay. It's neither here nor there. But when you see someone who's doing a number of live streams on a daily basis, and that's that sort of sharp focus to not only create a community, but to support the community and to be a good leader of that community. It's really impressive. And he does do the equivalent of basically a radio show if he were to actually, go on to, sorry, I keep adjusting the camera. He would, fit in perfectly on radio. I guess he's not really fascinated by radio. He's happy with what he's doing. But it's really entertaining, and I think he does some good stuff. Once again, don't agree with him on everything. But that kind of effort deserves acknowledgement and appreciation. So anyways, my point was that I listen to that a lot while I'm, golly, this is not wanting to work today. Let's see if that works. Hello. Anyways, he does, I have to kind of angle this. I don't know why. Yesterday it stood up perfectly with this mic jack plugged in. But now it's deciding to kind of totter on its side. So I tried to angle it and see if that works. Anyways, I don't really sit down and listen to stuff and sort of watch videos or anything. I'm always moving around. And so listening to that is great. It's sort of a filler in my head. Even though I hear what they're saying, I don't necessarily actively participate. But it's fun to hear different opinions and things of that nature. Right now I'm really binge listening to one podcast, which I kind of had a tendency to do. I binge listen to things or binge watch things, although I never really sit down and watch it. So the Voice Acting Mastery I mentioned yesterday, which is a great podcast, didn't listen to any of that yesterday. And then I binge listened to a podcast called Up and Vanished, which is all about these sort of mysterious disappearances that have occurred. One of them, the first season, was about this lady named Tara Grimstead, who is still, they've discovered pretty much who killed her, although there's sort of a question of who actually did the murder, but they know that she's gone. And unfortunately, there's nothing left for them to bury of her. But I listened to that, and they're sort of in the trial process now. It's by a guy, what is the guy's name? Oh gosh. It's Payne Lindsay, that's it. And he does a great job. I really enjoy that. So Up and Vanished on the app stores, or iTunes is where I listen to it. I'll put a link to it if I remember in the description, because it really is a good podcast. And then he also produced one called Monster, the first season, which focused around the Atlanta Monster, or a number of these murders that occurred in Atlanta in the late 70s, early 80s. A number of young African American boys went missing, and they all turned up. I think it was 27 or 28. They connected to this one murderer, although there were some questions as to whether it was one person. But I thought it was a really fascinating podcast. And then the season 2 they did was, or has been, I think it's wrapped up now, 15 episode season, was about the Zodiac Killer, which really there are no answers to whatsoever. It kind of danced back and forth as to whether there was even really one of them, because it could have been that there were a number of copycat killings, and it was just really, it was really just disheveled, or not disheveled, but it was really difficult to pin down the potential that it was only one person. And it's been 50 plus years since this all started, and most likely they'll never discover who it was. Any prime suspects, their major prime suspect died, I don't know, early 2000s, 2010, I don't remember. But he's been gone for a while. But there was still question as to whether he was even the Zodiac, because descriptions from survivors had the Zodiac at like 5'7" or 5'8", and this guy was like 6'4". So there's still some questions as to whether he really was, or he was just sort of a likely candidate because he was fascinated by the Zodiac as well. Whether he was fascinated by the Zodiac killer or just fascinated by astrology in some way. But, I thought those were two great podcasts, Up and Vanished and then Monster. Like I said, if I remember, I'll put the links in the description to check them out because they're both great. And let's see. Where I went to get my hair done yesterday was JCPenney's. And the salon was basically empty, with the exception of me and my brother, who got a haircut. And we didn't do it on each other. He was the stylist there, but there were more people on staff there than there were customers. And I don't know if it was because it was Monday, and Mondays are just slow, or if they're experiencing that, downturn in the market like, a lot of places are. It's challenging to see because we're losing a lot of neighborhood stuff where we can go and get things done. So much stuff is moving to online and such. It used to be that people would go to the hair salon and, sort of congregate, especially a lot of ladies, which I think was great. It was just a way of connecting with your friends, and you'll get your hair done and chat with your friends. And I remember that from my youth when I would go to get my hair cut somewhere or something. There would be ladies sitting and talking with each other in the waiting area or under the dryers or just in the chairs. And it was packed, and it just seemed like it was a great way to sort of connect with your friends and talk with your friends, or people you don't see all the time, but you sort of see them every couple of months, and you're like, oh, hi, Amy, how are you? How are you, Georgette, whatever. Georgette's not really a common name, but you know what I mean. That changed a lot, though. We seem more separated. As a matter of fact, I think there was a study that was recently quoted saying that we've become more isolated and almost antisocial, and it's had a certain amount of mental effect on us because we're so connected through the internet and devices than we are in person. And I think we can get to the point where we realize that, there's nothing grand or especially, special about a person who's on a camera. That's just a point of sharing an idea. But there's something wonderful about human communication and walking up and talking to people and being interactive with people. And I would always hope people would walk up and chat with me, and I find people